Hi YouTube friends, how are you? I hope you're having a great day so far. So today finally we're gonna do our review demo and everything about our Mercury Retrograde palette. I got this during the Sephora sale. I said I was gonna do a whole review. So I'm gonna be doing live swatches, demo, and I'm gonna include 2 looks on this whole review. If you're excited, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more beauty videos. I upload 3 to 4 times a week, and without further ado, let's start. I've used this palette for a couple of days and I already made up my mind. I already know what I think. I'm wearing it on my eyes, and I did 2 looks plus the one that was a first impression. I'm gonna link my Sephora sale below, but I wanted to do a dedicated review on this because first of all, it's a pricey palette. This is $88 Canadian plus tax, so it is pricey, and I'm just gonna just give you my thoughts and see. I don't know, just give you the facts and then you're gonna decide if you need it or not. So to start with, the first time I saw this palette, I thought, it is so unique. It is super different from anything that I've seen. But then in person, when you cover the first row, then you realize that it's just a Huda dusty rose kind of palette. So that's something to keep in mind. If you already have one of her nudes palette or like the bigger palettes from her, I don't think this is a palette that you really need. Sorry, I'm glazing you. But to me, I actually don't own any of her palettes, so to me this was worth to try, and plus these purple colors were really interesting, so I wanted to try them. Right, I had played 3 to 4 times with this palette and I've made up my mind. I think that the mattes look really nice. They do need a little bit of building up depending on the shade. The only shade I really had a hard time working with is this one, which is VORTEX, but other than that, the other mattes are really nice. I love this shade Momentum for my brow bone. Stunning shade. Today in my eyes I have a VORTEX in my inner and outer corners, and then I put a gold glitch in the center of my eyelid. So I really like how my eyes look like. They're really out there. This was similar of a look that Huda did and I wanted to recreate it, so I think it came out quite nicely. That shade however had a lot of fallout, so if you see me up close, I'm like a glittery mess, but it is nevertheless pretty. But it was all my fault, but I should have done my eyes before my face. I didn't, so shame on me. Other than that, I wanted to mention that I really like the shade Nebula. Is one of my favorite shades. I tried it on my Sephora sale. You're gonna be able to see that in action. Ultraviolet was a shade that was a little bit disappointing. This one here, this purple, it is just not pigmented. Like you really had to dig your finger to like get it to pop up and build up. To me, I really had to like wet my brush and again and again and again to get it to show up like this. But I mean, I don't know. And then Supernova, which is a shade that I used in my demo, is also a little bit like it swatches really nice, but like to get it to transfer on your eyelids is a different story. You have to like really work with it and build it up. So I recommend you wet your brush and like go hard on it, and then you're gonna be able to see it really pop. So the first row of swatches, you have Cosmic, which is this one going down. So you have Cosmic. It swatches really nice. It is pigmented enough. I like it. The next one is Utopia, and that one is a really powdery kind of formula, so it had a ton of kickback and I had to like do 3 swatches to get it to show up like it is. The next one is Ultraviolet, which is this one, and this one was a disappointed shade for me. 100%. I used it the first time I got the palette and I had to like really build it up, wet my brush and do all of that to really get it to show up. This was like 3 swatches on top of each other, and that's what got that pigmentation. The next shade is Nebula, which is this one. Is a really sparkly shade. This one is stunning. It has a lot of pigmentation to it, and this one was one swipe. The next one is Mercury, which is this blue that it has a really nice shift to it. This one is also really pigmented, so I like this one. And then the next one, which I think is the main reason why I wanted to get this palette, is this Tiffany blue. It's called Haze. It's quite pigmented. I think on the lid it looks stunning. I may do a look using this shade. The next road is a dusty shade. It's called Off Balance. Let's build it up so you can see. So it has good pigmentation, but if you really wanted to pop, you have to build it quite up. The next one is Galaxy, and this is the shade that I'm wearing in my inner corners. I really like this shade, but I had to wet it to really make it pop. The next one is Libra, which is a really light kind of purple. If you guys can see, I don't know, pigmentation isn't greatest in all mattes. You really have to build them up to get them to really show up. The next one is Crash, which is a, you know, like kind of like skin color kind of thing. But this one, it looks really purple, but somehow in the pan is like tan, but that's not how it transfers on your lid. So that's something to keep in mind. The next one is Momentum, which is a pale shade, and I really like this actually for my brow bone. So I used that shade today and I liked it. And then the next one is Supermoon, which I used. Is a really chunky formula I used the first time. And if you wanted to really stay, yeah, stunning. If you don't want to, you know, just to make a mess everywhere, you do want to wet this one. So this is the second row. Then last but not least, we have Vortex, which is a little bit of a disappointing shade to me, to be honest. This is the only shade that you get on the palette to really deepen out your outer V, and I found that it was a little bit too patchy and really hard to work with. You really had to like blend it, girl. The next one is Hot Mess. It's a stunning shade. This one is much easier to blend. I use this one all in my outer V and in my inner corners. Then one Supernova, which is the one that I'm wearing on my eyelid, was a little bit disappointed. It looks really nice on the swatch. It was only one swipe, but whenever I was applying it to my eyelid, I had to like first wet the brush, then pack it on, then kind of like going with my finger, and then that's how I was content with the pigmentation of it. So it was a little bit disappointed, to be honest. Then this one that I'm swatching is Karma, which is a really nice matte. I like the formula of this one. Like as a transitioner shade, it's really nice. The next one is Gold Glitch, which I actually haven't tried, but look at that. Looks really stunning. And then Frazzled. Alright, those are all the swatches for the last row. guys, okay, so my other eye is done. I finished off with some lashes, I did eyeliner, and I think it came out pretty decent. That shade is hard to work with, I have to say that. Vortex, it is a nightmare. My final thoughts on the palette, to be honest, I really like it. I think it is worth the price tag. However, I think that you have to work with the shades. So if you're willing to do that, if you have the patience that, to work with shades like this, whenever you have to like really wet your brush or do some extra steps, then you'll be happy with this. But if you have no patience and you don't think that an $88 palette should be you know, making you work so hard, then I don't think this is gonna be for you. For me, I think it's unique enough to, you know, to make it work. And I think also because I don't have any of her Huda palettes, then I think this is a good investment, because I do get the pop-up colors extra, and then you get the like the regular Huda shade. So I really like this palette. As I said, it's a little bit of a hit and miss, but I'm willing to work with it. If you do like these shades, I advise you to go into a Sephora store and just swatching them and just make sure that you like them, because it is a pricey palette and I don't want you to be disappointed. As I said, every time I used it, I've come up with really nice looks, so I can't really complain, but you do have to work a little bit harder, you know, to get them to like a really nice look. Alrighty, you guys, that was it for today. That was my review on the Huda palette. Please let me know what you think of this palette. Did you like this palette? Do you love it? Are you having trouble working with it? Like, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's unique enough, you know, to make it work? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my review, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I'm gonna see you in my next one. Bye.